All right, so right now you want to either write down or pause and type this web address into your Google Chrome site and then come back to the video. So pause it, put this site in, and then come back to the video. Make sure you have a piece of paper to write some notes on. This should bring you to this site. You're going to look at reflections, vertical shift, and horizontal shift. We are not going to cover the vertical dilation less than 1 or greater than 1, so just these first three. In your notes, you want to write down the equation and write down that we're reflecting it over the x-axis, and then press play.
F of x equals x squared by reflecting it about the x-axis. Use a table to display a few points from the graph of the function. Now reflect the curve one point at a time, starting with the point -2, 4.
Remember, reflect is a flip, so we're flipping over the x-axis, so we want a mirror image down below.
-4.
So this point is 4 up from the x-axis, so this point will be 4 down from the x-axis.
1, 1, maps to the point 1, -1. The point 3, 9, maps to the point 3, -9. The equation of the reflected curve is g of x equals the quantity of the opposite of x squared. The y-coordinates of the transformed function are the opposite of the y-coordinates of the original function.
So at this point, we want to write down the equation, and then when we reflected over the x-axis, that made the equation negative, gave a negative coefficient. Then you should also notice that the x-coordinates are the same in both situations, but in the reflected coordinates, the signs change. So it went from 4 to -4, 9 to -9. So this is the rule, is the y changes negative signs. And you should see this at +1 here, we flip it over to -1. It's got to be equidistant from the x-axis, and it makes sense if this is whatever that is up here. What is that? 3? Then this would be -3 down here. Okay, so that's the rule that you want to write for that. And hopefully this looks a little familiar for you when we did exponential functions. Remember, this was the equation of the exponential function. And then when we reflected it over the x-axis, the coefficient became negative, and it reflected it from here over here. And again, the points were equidistant across the x-axis. And that's very similar to what's happening here. The equation turned negative. Again here, the equation turned negative. So you want to have those notes. Then you're going to do the vertical shift and the horizontal shift on your own. Do the same thing. Click on it, write down your equation, write down what you're doing to it, press play, write down the rule that happened. Okay, so you want to do reflection, vertical shift, and horizontal shift. Have notes on all three of those. Have examples of what happened, and then you should write out the rule of what happened. And we will see you tomorrow morning. Make sure you understand this so you can do your work when you get to class. Have a great night.